What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, normal Keith, just Keith. No, I'm not a real professor. I'm just Keith, man. That's why I say all that. Never have claimed to be a real professor. That's been an ongoing joke for about 4 years now. Glad to have you here nonetheless. Hope everybody had a good couple weeks, a good couple days, a good weekend. Well, guess what? Things very well may be turning the corner here. We're going to look at a bunch of charts. I've got over 30 assets to look at in 40 minutes, plus give you a Bitcoin analysis based on the chart only. Oh, boy, are we about to pack a lot of data into this next 40 minutes. I hope you're ready. Welcome to Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. Every single like, every single follow, share, all that good stuff helps. If you're not done it yet, might as well, man. Why not hit the like button? If you've also got to, hit the notification bell, man. Let us know where you're from in the comments. Jump in and say hey in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from, what platform you're on, all that good stuff. Your comments will pop up right here on the screen on the right, as you see, directly up underneath me, are all the comments that come in. I've got a ton of requests. I'm going to dive right off into them, all right? First, let's do Bitcoin. All right, it's okay. Excuse me. I've got Bitcoin on the screen here. I had some heartburn today. And the only medication that I take is heartburn medication, right? And even that's biting me today. Go figure. Nonetheless, Bitcoin took out a couple more short levels. If you've been following along on X, where I post all this, we had short levels in here. We had short levels in here. Both of those have been knocked out. Perfectly good. What we wanted to see, knock those levels out one by one, run the bears off, and we can get back to doing what we were doing. To begin with, we came all the way up to this short level, all the way up at the very tip top, and as you see so far, bit of rejection. Not to be unexpected. You got to know that sometimes the stuff's going to reject when it runs really, really hard, like it did for those 4 days in a row right there. Can't expect that to just keep up forever. What's up, Steve Luke? You can't expect it to just always be green forever. It's going to slow down at some point, throw some red candles. It's perfectly fine to have a red candle or two in there. You can see back here, we had red candles all throughout, and we continued to go up, and that's fine. And we'll go over why I think this is a better spot than we had before here in a moment. But first, note we got those big 4 strong candles. We have a clean trend break. As far as indicators go, we're over the 821. We're over the 50 again. Perfectly good look right there. Ichimoku cloud, still 4 out of 4. Green cloud. Oh, no, you're not. Look, you only have 3 out of 4. You still got the conversion line underneath the baseline. So you still only got 3 out of 4 there. Progress is a slow process. RSI, still pretty nominal. MACD, looky there. She's just about to cross upwards. Sell volume is almost over. I like what I see here, folks. Excellent, excellent look. I like that we took out liquidity from the shorts. We needed to do that. Need to run them off, scare them off, flip those guys in the bulls. I like the fact that the MACD is curling up. I like the fact that the RSI is nominal, right? Doesn't have to be pointing up. Just be okay. Things look okay. I got the green lights on in the background now instead of the blue lights, by the way, fellas. If you haven't noticed that, what's up, Jorge Diaz? Afternoon from Scotland. That was a terrible Scottish accent, but it felt necessary.
Damn.
I know.
Come on, man.
I know. Anyway, I like the look a lot. As long as this keeps up, and as long as we hold this little trend here, and I'm going to go down to 4 hour to show you here. You have a very aggressive 4 hour uptrend right here. See that? I don't know that it can maintain this. Seems like a bit much to ask. I don't know it can maintain it, but look, that's a very aggressive 4 hour trend. I still have a green target box up here. That green target box targets the last remaining shorts of the previous all-time high that we made back on the 22nd, all right? That's got to get tested again for sure. It's the same case with the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. They're all going up there to test those big, big short levels that they had before. It's exactly what we want to see. What's up, Wesley Hart? You guys see your comments popping up on the stream there. It's awesome. And they're small, but they're on there, all right? I probably should size those a little bit larger. Now that I see the size of them, I could probably change the size in a little bit. That doesn't matter right now. Anyway, I still think we attacked that upper short level. Got to run the bears off here, flip them in the bulls. And once that happens, we should get that next push to get us up through there. You're starting to see analysts who are professional analysts come on and say, oh, yeah, we're going to get 130, 200. A couple months ago, they were all hollering 68 and 55 and 44 and all this other stuff. So miss me with the bullshit. We'll keep going here with this and keep letting it ride day by day. This is why we check daily charts. We look at this stuff once a day at least, right? You can just look at it opening and closing if you'd like, but nonetheless, I like the new longs that came in. I like the bears getting knocked out a little bit here. It's very, very important that that happened. Things continue to do well. Let's go look at the weekly. Weekly, bang, 2016. The 2016 halving, you can see same time 8 years ago, we were floating right around this 1272 and 1414 fib here. Guess what? 2020, we were doing the same darn thing. 1272, 1414 fib right here. And if you don't know what I mean, right there is your fib lines. Let me drop the comment box off here so you guys can see a bit better. Do I have a button for comment box? Oh yeah, I do. Bam. I forget I program this stuff sometimes. 1272, 1414 fibs right there. You can kind of see them. So we're the same level across the board, and you can see I've got them sized up identically across the board here. Nothing different in any of them here. I like the look that we're getting. I like this curl up. We're just about to test the weekly high again. And the important thing about this is the CME that I'll show you again in a minute here. That closes tomorrow. It closes Friday. It doesn't close on Saturday or Sunday. It closes Friday. Friday at, I think, 5 p.m. So when the CME closes. When the CME closes, we got a new high on the weekly. That opens up next week and the week after that and the week after that. It's a very, very important time. I've got the Bunny Money shirt on. You guys know what that means. For you OGs that have been around, you know where the Bunny Money shirt comes from. I got to be one of the few people still rocking it. Right? I got to be one of the few people still rocking it. Was called a hater a long time ago. Was outcast a long time ago. We wouldn't be here if we weren't outcast and called haters. None of this would exist, believe it or not. Absolutely none of it. But here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. And I'm still proud that I did all that, even though it didn't work out great at the time. It taught a very, very valuable lesson. Those valuable lessons are still used to this day. So weekly, chugging along perfectly fine. Everything's still pointing toward that 125 to 135 level that I told you about before. We could even hit 140. That's the 1414 fib. And then you got the 1618 up there at 175-ish. That could happen by the end of the year. It could happen sooner. Let's not go leaning on that until we get to the 135 to 140 area. Is that fair? I think that's fair. How about monthly? Similar story here. 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024. All halvings lined up with each other. Not to mention all fib lines lined up with each other. You can see through here. I clicked the wrong button. Right there. You can see all through here. The 1272, 1414, 1618. It's the same for all cycles. Look at that. They're darn near identical across the board. They're not perfect, but they're very, very similar, aren't they? So we probably should just sit back and relax a little bit. This thing isn't done yet. All right, cool. Look, 2012 even had the same move that we're doing right now in 2016 and 2020. Bro, maybe everyone should just have a beer and relax. You know what I mean? Did I help with the Bunny Money song? No. I think the Bunny Money song was done when I got kicked out. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I got kicked out and outcast pretty early. It was, I want to say it was July of 2019 when I got kicked out or something like that. And then that's when we started doing live streams. It was somewhere around in there. Nonetheless, monthly also looking solid here. Cycle for cycle. That's two different looks I gave you of that one, right? Bitcoin dominance. What does this matter? Well, I'm about to show you Bitcoin CME, and then I'm going to switch to altcoins here. This is why it matters, because Bitcoin dominance continues to fly high. Dang it, hit the wrong button. Hang on, let me switch it back to split screen there. And demonstration. Yeah, Bitcoin continues to fly high over here, where last time you saw that Bitcoin really fell off after the red line, which is halfway between halving and the end of the run. Halving and the end of the run. The same thing I just showed you over here, right? Same exact thing, except it's Bitcoin dominant side by side with the last cycle that we had. We already fell off pretty precipitously back in the day on Bitcoin dominance. Here we are, still haven't fallen off yet on Bitcoin dominance, but it is showing some promise and showing a little bit of slowdown over here. And now I'm going to switch to Bitcoin CME and then do Bitcoin dominance daily, and then we'll hit altcoins. All right, here's Bitcoin CME chart. What does this mean? Bitcoin, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's the open futures market for Bitcoin. It's the only one that we can do in the U.S. There are only 4 assets: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP that are on this set. So they're the only 4 that have gaps. They're the only 4 that leave gaps. They're the only 4 that matter. And XRP only recently got on there. So I don't want to hear it about how it's been happening since 2016. Stop. You're not making sense. All right. So if I look at this one, it's well over the 8, well over the 21. Your moving averages are fine down there. Remember a minute ago when I said it was 4 out of 4, it was 3 out of 4 on the cloud? Well, guess what? Lag line over the candles, that's 1. Green Ichimoku cloud on the end, that's 2. Price well above the cloud, that's 3. Conversion line over the baseline, that's the blue line, over the red line. Bitcoin CME is going to close another week with 4 out of 4 on the Ichimoku cloud. That's excellent. This is the slowest, laggingest indicator possible here, and even it still looks pretty good. So maybe we should just have a beer and relax. Fair enough? Fair enough. Bitcoin dominance one last time on the daily. So you can see what I'm talking about here. All right, so I've had this box drawn for a while. That's the golden pocket and the 786 heading back up after the drop-off that it had. And as you see, she's still hanging on to that golden pocket and that 786. Failed the 786 clean right there, though. You got to admit that, right? That's a clean failure. Now, what do we need to see happen for this to be a go season for alts? Simply put, fail that red trend line right here. Go ahead and drop below that, and I think we start to see more money come into alts than we see come into Bitcoin. That does not mean that Bitcoin won't go up. It just means that alts, including Ethereum and Solana, XRP, all of them, will have a little bit of a heyday here, while they get more money injected from new people and old people, while only new people stick money in Bitcoin. Now, that may not be the case if it's all institutional money and they come flying in, but ifs and buts are candy and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas. It ain't Christmas, and we all ain't got ifs and buts that are candy and nuts, do we? Exactly. So instead of doing hopium and wondering what will happen for the future, let's just stick to the chart, all right? As soon as we see this fail, everything changes. Just hasn't failed yet. Hanging the 50 moving average perfectly over the 821 still. If it fails here, to be under the 821 all at once, but beware, still above the 50, still looking fairly strong, but not super strong. The only weakness we've had is one day here. We're still 4 out of 4 on the Ichimoku cloud. So, sorry, it's still not alt season.
Damn.
Oh well, gotta wait a little bit longer.
Bruh.
Sorry. Close, not quite there yet. Now, we're going to get into this massive list of coins that I've got. I'm not exactly sure where to start, and this damn cat's crawling on my lap. By the way, this is Darla. I just got her about a week and a half ago. She's a Persian. She's full-blooded. She's a smash-face kitty, as you see. Totally useless. This is full-grown. It's weird, right? I know. It's weird. She had a cut when we got her. Her hair's growing back out. She was kind of malnourished and in a rough shape. She's already gained a half a pound. And her shits are nuclear, dude. It's wild. So, man, I didn't miss having a cat, but here we are with another one. So, little cat update for you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with everybody's favorite XRP, right? Everybody's favorite XRP.
Wrong.
Sorry. Don't get mad, bro. All right, Ichimoku cloud that I just showed you on everything else. We were 4 out of 4. I got bad news. We lost this green cloud. Now it's a red cloud on the end over here. Not quite good enough, right? We can admit that. Price is still underneath the cloud. Not quite good enough either. That's 2 red X's. Lag line, uh-oh. She's under the candles now. It's got to be over the candles, and you'd like it over the cloud as well. How about this? Is the conversion line over the baseline? Is the blue over the red? I'm sorry, folks. This is not there yet. Just not there yet as far as the Ichimoku cloud goes. What about moving averages, right? Hey, a little bit of a reprisal here. It's only under the 200 moving average now. I told you all these moving averages would wad up in here. And that's exactly what they've done. They've all converged into one big ball. We've seen this happen from XRP multiple times before. Kind of expected it. What do I think is going to happen here? Well, as long as we hold on to these moving averages, we're going to jump over that 200 moving average. When we jump over that 200 moving average, it will sit on top of it. As it sits on top of it, we will see these Bollinger Bands start to pinch in more. All right? As these Bollinger Bands pinch in, that will induce volatility. That volatility will come in. And as long as we can get over this big, ugly trend line that's back here that I haven't talked about yet, it's going to go something like that. Until it gets over that, we're kind of still stuck in the mud waiting. I know. It got over the first trend line. Great. It didn't quite get over the big one yet. All right. That actually points more toward the end of the month. And I guess that makes sense. Get over the 200 moving average, sit on top, break this trend, back test the trend, and then you're free to go, right? Turns out I go on vacation in July. Every time I go on vacation, it never fails. Charts go crazy. I'll be going on vacation when this happens. Watch. I'm going to take the laptop. I don't care what they say. I've got to work. I can't miss bull runs. Working on vacation for you guys who are noting that right there, right? Family vacation. I'm taking the laptop to work. They can get over it. They can go to the pool and hang out or something. I don't care. RSI is still nominal. Look at this MACD. It started to cut up. You've got 2 green volume bars in here. Excellent. After all those red volume bars that we had come in, we finally got some green. Now we need this orange line up over the midline, which is going to be right through here. As you can see, it's not over the midline yet. It is, although very close. Pivot line, it's fighting that pivot line right now. You can see it right there. She hasn't quite gotten through it yet. She's thinking about it. Just not there. Close. Give it a couple days here. By Thursday, we'll know more. It's done a lot better over the last several days. Great recovery from the live stream that we had on Thursday. Exactly what we needed to see. Exactly what I hoped would happen, and I couldn't necessarily predict, as ugly as it was. Good news, it happened. I'm glad it happened. I'm in XRP. Probably got more than you do. And that's not to flex. It's just to say I'm just as at risk, if not more at risk, of this not going up. Hope it goes up like everybody else hopes. Sweet. Recorded that whole thing, so it should be a really good clip for later, too. Like, it should be a really good clip. Let me say hey to everybody. What's up, Crypto Big D? What's up, Diego? Good to see you. Matoshi. What's up? Let me jump over here. More people on YouTube. What's up, Charts Can't Lie? Ariana. STV Loop. Good to see you. Jorge, got you already. What's up, Wesley Hart? Jude. How you doing, Jude? Hey, Jude. Yeah, I know the song. Colo, how you been? I don't know that I'll be able to get to any more requests. I've already got 30 plus to go through. Crypto Crank, you guys got to kind of get them in before. Put them on Discord or put them on X underneath the post, and I can get to them and write them down way sooner because I can only do a limited amount. Crypto Crank, he said, what's up, brother? Good. First time tuning in. Glad to have you here, dude. All data, all the time. No hopium, only data. That's what we do. That's what we strive for. That's what we live off of. There's no feelings involved. None of these assets get our feelings. If you want to put feelings into investments, you want to lose. And that's not what I'm here to do. That's not what I'm here to help anybody else do. I want you to win. So, you know, don't think it as a situation where I'm talking about any of these assets like I'm about to start doing here in a moment. It's going to get people upset, but those are the people who are emotionally invested as opposed to me not being emotionally invested. All right. What's up, RC? What's good to see you, brother? Oh, he says, I'm also a pro trader. Check it out, dude. Let's go, dude. All right, cool. So let's get off into these altcoins. Rio. All right. Over the last couple days, what Rio was looking very terrible managed to shoot up over the 100, the 50, the 821, and now you got the 200 moving average way up there, becoming my next available easy target. If you'll note, though, be careful. 21 moving average on the weekly is kind of in the way right there, dead in the golden pocket. Y'all can see that, right? So that's going back up, though. Good to see it because we came down and did a complete reversal here, all the way to 786 Sniper's Alley before we bounced out of Sniper's Alley. And it's a pretty convincing bounce. I like that bounce. That's a decent look. This also points toward this weekly 50 moving average up here at about 62 cents where the 50 fib is. We can have confluence of that area. That's also where the 200 moving average is, you see? Right, so we got confluence there. That's my next stopping point, I believe. Let me pull the fib on this little short term right here. And you'll see that, yeah, So 46, 50, 57 in here, the take profit fibs, more confluence of that 50 cents area. Makes sense. I like the look. I like where it's going. MACD, RSI, both turned up. Look at that MACD making that aggressive hook right there. Nice. That's a good aggressive hook. That's what you want to see. Might flatten out for a couple days here. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to get caught up in a little bit of resistance right here, but I do think it will get through it in time. It's a pretty darn good look. Break out the highlighters. That gets a green. That gets a green. Velodrome. Velodrome. Let's do OKC. I'm not going to do that. That chart's terrible. How about KuCoin? Yeah, I've got a bunch of drawings on this from former buys and sells. All right, so same setup that we saw on others. Look at this. Over the 821, over the 100, over the 50, 200 moving averages way up here where I sold back in February. All right, that's my new target for my retrace back up. Roughly the 200 moving average. Weekly, I know this chart's messy, but I draw on it a lot, so bear with me. You got the 21 moving average at about 15 cents. That'll be a speed bump. And the 50 moving average at about 16 cents, another speed bump. So that's all progress just to get to that 18 cent level. That being, or I said 18, I mean 0.16, 0.18, 0.016, 0.018, less than 1 penny, right? That to the 200 moving average is about 38%, but I do expect that to come down a little bit since this chart is in the midst of a retrace still. If we pull fibs on this, it looks like we broke out, rejected the 50 fib for a short time here, and then our upper targets are up there in our take profit fibs where roughly the 200 moving average would be. There you go. So between 0.7, 0.8, I'm sorry, 0.17, 0.18 makes sense right there. For the next target, I still need to see it come off and break loose here. You could argue that it potentially broke out, but be careful counting these wicks on altcoins. It can get a little dicey counting those wicks sometimes. It may not be you know what? I'm going to give it green because it's over all those moving averages and has some support there. And I think that makes sense. All right, ADS. All right, ADS. And not ADD, that's what I have. ADS. All right, cool. So I've got a couple, I've already been charting this one. I've got a couple fibs pulled. Note that short term, you ran up and hit, you went all the way up to the trend line, bumped its head, come back down to the 786, 78%, 88% retrace, big ugly retrace, right? That's right. Still never went oversold. So this is a nominal retrace. Now that it's done that, it's gotten a little hung up right back after trying to peek its head up and get out of Sniper's Alley. Not a bad look, but not good enough necessarily. Note that you're stuck under all the moving averages. I actually bought some of this already. It's a little stuck and a little early potentially for me to be buying. I know that, but I'm banking on this double bottom that we've got coming in right here being a nice, good, clean double bottom and it trying to work its way up out of here, right? 12 cents to 13 cents makes sense to be my current little short-term local target. And if this is the bottom and it's retracing its way back out, 200 moving average is steady working its way sideways and down, while the 50 fib and the 236 line up. 786, 886 kind of lines up with the 382 at about 16 cents. So those two targets make sense. That's about 25 to 50%, right? So it's about 20% to the 50 fib and the 236. It's about 50% to Sniper's Alley. So that makes sense right there for that to work its way back up, but has to clear the moving averages first. Close. Not quite there. Like I said, I'm already in. So I'll DCA this if I need to. Have a ton of Bitcoin to sell off the altcoins. All right. I'm going to give this one an orange because it's over the 8, but that's it. It's not over anything else. You know what I mean? I set my highlighters accordingly because I'm going to keep knocking them over if I don't. On the back of ADS, let's look at DAG as well. We already did ADS. Why not look at DAG? You know what I'm saying? All right, folks. Be prepared to fuss at me.
Damn. Bruh.
Sorry. I'm going to keep it real with you. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not or you like it or not. The chart is the chart. She bounced very, very nicely off this trend line. Love to see it. Not mad about it at all. And you actually saw me talk about that on Thursday, saying, hey man, this thing bounced trend. I think that's a really good look. Now that's bounced trend, what do we got coming in next? Chat box back on, by the way. Sorry, just realized the chat box was off. There you go. Now that you got that bounce, what do you got next? Well, it's run dead-headed into the 50 and 100 moving average through a wick, and now it's red on the backside. It's still not terrible, but note this is a bearish back test so far. 200 moving average is still my point of contention here, even if it does get loose. Of these moving averages, I like the fact that it seemed to have kind of formed up a double bottom right here. Again, like the last one I showed you, this thing may take a little bit to get its way out and find its bearings, but it does look like it wants to attack that 200 moving average again like it did back here. You see back here, it's taken a long time to try to break it, and it's yet to get through it. Tried its best. Notice that it rejected the Ichimoku cloud, right? Red cloud on the end. That's not going to do it. Conversion line blue under baseline red. Not going to do it. Lag line underneath the candles. Not going to do it. Price underneath the cloud. Not going to do it. Close. It's better as far as the 821 EMA goes. Look, you actually crossed the 8 EMA. This will be your second candle over the 8 EMA. You don't have an 821 EMA cross yet. Purple line and green line. You can barely see it back there, but you're getting close. No, you're getting close. I'm happy to see it have some progress. I think it's got more in the tank. It's just going to take a bit. Note the weekly moving average rejections that we had, just like we had back in March and April, right? Still stuck under them. Once it breaks loose of them, you got that daily 200 moving average that I talked about a moment ago. You've got the weekly 200 moving average bearing down as well. These both create speed bumps in the way of progress. All right, I do think it's got a chance to get through them. I just don't think it'll do it as fast or in as hurry as everyone thinks it will based on news. It's not how it works, unfortunately. So baby steps, just getting there. Progress, not quite enough yet. I do recordings of some of these, right? And then I post clips on Rumble and YouTube and X too. So I like to post them up so everyone has an example of what they're seeing. They can say, oh, you're shitting on it. But I'm actually not. I'm just speaking facts. Doesn't have anything to do with shitting on it or not shitting on it. Here's an old byline. I'm going to delete that. That's gone. I've already sold that off 100 times. Fetch AI. You're over the 821 EMA. I like that, but you're still under the 5100. As you see, 200 moving average isn't even on this chart because this is weekly. There you go. That's weekly 821 with the 50 and the 100 above it. So daily wise, Fetch 200 moving average still bearing down at about 94 cents. That's my next point of contention. You're over the 821 and 50. I've already bought this one because of the look of this chart, and I do think it's going to attack that 200 and potentially break it. It was a front runner last time. 100 moving average is well down below. All this is pinching and boiling, by the way. RSI still got some divergence here, right? You still haven't broken out there. Not much momentum yet. But look at that MACD. As the orange line approached the midline, she's starting to curl back up. You're getting a very aggressive kick from the blue line, the trigger line right there. I like the way it looks. Trying to cut the corner back up and turn green. Baby steps, but she's got a chance to break out here. And you cannot deny that 821 and 50 Reaper strategy cross right there. I'm in it because of that. I told you guys I'd be more strict about it, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Doge. We'll power through these. Not Doge. Doge. It's a four-letter word. Keith, spell it. I know, dude. What an idiot. All right. Over the 50, over the 821, over the 100, over the 8, under the 50, under the 21, under the 200. Progress. She jumped over that 8 EMA. I like that. Progress. It jumped over the 100, but it's stuck in them still. All right. Going to take a little bit to weave its way out of messes. It doesn't normally just weave its way right out. You're going to have to chop through it a little bit. Rejecting the cloud right now, so it makes sense. This is the nominal retrace so far. No big fancy moves to report just yet. You could argue that she's broken out, and I would hear your argument. I would actually second it. Now, it needs to prove it, right? MACD's not quite there. You see it curling up under the midline. It's going to take some work. RSI still nominal. No help there. So better, but not great. Better, but not great. As such, I'm giving her the orange treatment right here. The good, not great highlighter. Because that's just how my filing system works. Green for good. Orange for good, not great. Pink for nah, man. That's pretty simple, right? I highlight them on my paper and then I move on. Creddy. All right. I need to turn my ceiling fan back on. It gets hot in here when I stream, dude. All right. Credi was looking pretty good, but you're getting a bearish engulfing today. Could you get another bullish engulfing tomorrow? Sure. Look at the Bollinger Bands and how tight they are. This thing's pinching in and it's going to make a decision one way or another pretty soon. I don't like the rejection of the 50 moving average. I'd like to see it over that. It's also rejecting the 821. So, in an effort to wait and be sure, I'd like to see it close above all three of those 2 times before I took a bite on it. Yes, it is lower, and yes, you could get in a lower price right now, but be careful because it's still a sideways / bearish looking chart, and I don't want you to get stuck in the mud. For you fellas requesting new coins, I've already got a shit ton of them. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, so I'm going to stop trying to say I'm going to get to all of them, and I'm going to get to the ones I got wrote down. And if you guys would, next time, maybe jump in before the stream starts and request them over on Discord or X, wap.com/team786 right down there below. There's a link for the free general chat. If you go in there and click on it, you get into the general chat for free. That's where I post it. The links for the stream, you can request there, or you can do it over on X if you follow me on X at @CarolinaKeith_1 on X. It's at @CarolinaKeith_1 everywhere. So, yeah. So anyway, Credi, not quite good enough. I'm pressed on it, so I'm going to give this one an orange because it's over but under some. Over and under. I got to speed up. Terra, USD. This is going to be way more than a 40-minute stream. I'm sorry. All right, Terra, I'm sorry about this one, but it's just not good enough yet. You're under every moving average. While you could be forming a bottom pattern, it hasn't done enough yet. For me, this one's a quick no, and that's the first pink highlighter I broke out today. Cap is off now, so we're getting serious, right?
God damn.
I know. Why weren't you serious till now? Fart coin.
Bruh.
Come on, man. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but we'll chart it anyway, right? Fart. Not fat. Fart. Jesus Christ, Keith. There you go. Fart. What do we want to use? We'll do USD. How do I not have a chart for this? I'll just use futures. That'll work. All right, so fart coins curled up here now over the 58 and 21. I like the look here. It looks like it wants to break out and go. It was announced that it was on Coinbase a couple days ago, but you got no up from that. You only got down and sideways. So go figure. Coinbase effect, right? Wrong.
Wrong.
All right, so if she's gotten into the golden pocket, beware. It may pull back a little bit here and retest this 58.21. But I do like the breakout, and I do like that it's over all three things needed for the Reaper strategy. So this is getting a green for now. What would ruin that is if it fell back under any of that. It hasn't done it, so I like the look. AVAX. Before anyone says, your system doesn't work, Keith, I'm going to tell you.
Wrong.
Don't tell me it doesn't work. We've been doing this 6 years, made really good money doing it. Don't tell me it doesn't work. Does your way maybe work too? Sure. 2 things can be right. It's fine. But you're watching us. So listen to what we got to say. All right, and I'll listen to what you got to say. But don't go being all dismissive. That's never going to help anything. We've got a lot of dismissive people in the crypto world, but it's based on your emotions and not what's fact. All right, so AVAX, improvement. Gotta love improvement. She's jumped over everything except the 50. It's fighting the 50 now. Wednesday's tomorrow. Be careful. We may get an ugly Wednesday. We keep having ugly Wednesdays. 200 moving average is bearing down here on the price as well. That is my next target, wherever it may lie, whenever we attack it. All right, so no breakout just yet, or maybe we have a breakout. Yeah, you could call that a breakout. If you want to drop it from back here, you're not going to get a breakout. That part's a bit subjective, isn't it? So let's just wait on that till it closes over that 50 moving average one more time. I like the curl up that I see on the MACD. 1 volume bar in, better than none. And RSI still nominal. You could argue that that has broken out of its bearishness. Good. Let's see it run up to the 200, where my next target would be. Right now, that's 28.50. But that's going to slowly taper off with time. We're getting through these now, fellas. Based on the fact that we went on AVAX, let's do cock.
Bruh.
Come on, man. All right, so underneath the 100, over the 8, but underneath the 100, underneath everything else. This has got some proving to do. I'm a little leery of this one. I'm going to go ahead and give this one an orange because it's over the 8, but underneath other stuff. Needs some improvement before I bite on it. Optimism. See how I quickly dismiss the ones that aren't quite good enough? Just move on? Yeah, that's right. Just move on. Optimism. You've broken over the 821. You're smacking the 50 and 100. Be careful. This is good, not great. 200 moving average is way up there. You are, 75% from the 200 moving average. Is it worth the risk to take a bite on this and potentially lose some percent to make that 75? Well, that's up for you to decide. But I do like the fact that it's attacking the 50 and the 100. Probably going to take a little bit to get through it, so I'm giving this one a maybe. I'm going to give it a maybe for now. Improve some more, and then we can talk. PRCL. This is called Parcel Coin. And I know it's on Coinbase. So let's do the Coinbase. Yeah. All right. So she's trying to weave herself through these moving averages. There is no 200. See that? Doesn't even exist yet. But I like the little hook that she's doing. She just has to get up over this 50 and 100 right here that it hasn't got up over yet. It is over the 821, but not over the 50, 100. I do like the moving averages curling up, but they haven't crossed yet. It looks a lot like Doge, right? You could argue that this bearishness has broken. So is it worth the gamble to you? Well, that's going to be up to you to decide. I'm going to give this one a maybe based on it. XCN. We made killer money on XCN. All right. So, similar story as some of the others. Cosmos had such an aggressive run and ran all the way up to the big overall 618 from the massive bear market. It recovered 68% of its losses, which is awesome. It has pulled back some since then. Ran down to the 200 and did a little bit of a snap move right here, but she's run dead head right into the 100 and got a lot of other moving averages in the way. I like the improvement. Can't deny that. That's a good bullish candle right there, and you should have some more recovery after this. But today isn't that day just yet. She's still stuck and has some explaining to do before it goes too much farther. Close. All right. TARS AI. I've never heard of this one. Well, I probably have. I just don't remember. We do a lot of these. Over the 821 and 50, she's thinking about breaking out into price discovery. I like this bullish wedge that we have right here. All I need to see is a breakout, break above this high right here, and she's ready to rip. She looks like she wants to go for it. MACD and RSI, both still nominal. No big help there. Hasn't crossed green just yet, so this is going to take a day or two to chop out. But I do think it's going to make price discovery and start a new all-time high here. Just needs to get, well, it's actually above the 50. We're going to test 13 to 14 cents. Get above that and hold on to it. Wait on that 821, and we should push up here to that 16 to 18 cent level. This gets a green. She's not bad at all. AI Tech. Rapid fire, brother. Rapid fire. Keep it going. Don't slow down. All right. AI Tech. You're over the 58, 21, and 200 moving average. I like it. She's fighting the 200 now, obviously. MACD. Hey, look at that. Sweep up. 2 green volume bars. All your moving averages are above the midline now. You love to see it. Bearishness broken. Love to see that. Is this thing going to shoot up? Tough call on that one. But I do like the look it's given. I like the fact that it's battling the 200. Let's see it close over it. It's fighting it right now. I'd like another close over the 200 before I'm sure of it. But chart-wise, she came up and hit the golden pocket, maybe some chop at worst, and then we'll see if she can attack that previous high again. But not a sale. Not a sale. Solana. All right. We're moving quick now. Solana. Hey, bounce the 100. You're over the 8, 21, and 50. 200 moving average is pinching down. You can kind of see that there. There's the Bollinger Bands. You were very tight right here. Your volatility came in. It's exactly what we wanted to use the Bollinger Bands for. When we see that pinch, that lets us know volatility is incoming one way or the other. We got it, all right? Bollinger Bands are very wide at the moment, but if you notice, they're starting to curl in. All right, we're going to get some consolidation in here, and it's going to make these Bollinger Bands pinch again. You've had 5 straight days of green. Beware. That's probably not going to continue forever. 200 moving average at 176 at the moment. It's probably our hard cap, but it's not a bad. It's not a sale for now. FTM. We'll jam through them, folks. That's not a good chart. I know it's Sonic now. Doesn't matter. All right, cool. FTM, big, bullish, engulfing today. Or is this an old chart? Yeah, this is old. FTM, USD. Hold on a second. Let's find a good one. That's the one we just looked at. I do T. Nope. I'm going to have to pull up the Sonic chart, but I like history, brother. I like to have all the history on the chart. This is correct. This is live, right? Yeah, this is live. Okay. So FTM, we sure. Let me do Sonic. I just want to be careful. Yeah, all right, this one's better. All right, Sonic, you just jumped over the 8 EMA. That's good. I need to see a little bit more from you. But I hate when they switch tickers like this, man. It pisses me off. Just stick with one thing. I think that's probably correct. Whatever. We're going to go through a bunch of them. That's probably still not right, though. I don't know if I got the right chart or not, so I'm going to avoid FTM for now. We'll do that. We'll do that one again later. I know they switched, but some of these charts are wonky and they're not all lining up, so I'd rather not do it and be wrong. ADA. Well, I got plenty of other ones to look at. Sorry if you requested that one. We'll come back to that. ADA over the 821, underneath the 150, 200 moving average, bearing down a little bit at a time right there. But you can see it making the turn, slowly hooking down there. That target box still remains the same for me because that's where the 200 moving average is. It's also where the 50 fib is. You can kind of see it coming, right? Weekly moving averages all pinched, and you are over everything except the 821 on the weekly. A lot of volatility going to come in. You can see that the Bollinger Bands are pinching. Excellent. As they pinch, volatility will continue to income. And then I think we're going to get a run out to the end of the year, but we'll see. For now, daily, not terrible. Not terrible. There's a little bit more to go, but not terrible. So that's going to get the orange treatment for me. Ethereum. Hey, brother, wait till you see this Ethereum chart. Yeah, girl. All right. Let me get up here in the white meat up here. There we go. All right. So 821 up. She's pressed this 200. Let me just make sure I record this heifer. Look at this girl press this 200 moving average for all of that time, all the way back to the beginning of May. Press, 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 press. Fail, 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 fail. Now she jumps all at once over the 200, back test it, bounce off. You couldn't ask for a more perfect TA look right there than this one. I'm already in this one. Don't blame me. My buy line is down there at the bottom right here. I don't want to hear the whining. I've been in this one, so don't blame me for anything. If I fold out to the weekly here, boy, look, you've cut through every moving average all at once. That means we may get some back tests in here next week, and that wouldn't be the end of the world. All right. She isn't overbought yet. Working on it, but not there. Weekly's got volume coming in. This thing could be ready to rip here for a little bit. All right, still my 3,000 target holds strong. I think that's where we go next. And beyond that, 32 to 36, call it 3,500 later on. Very bullish looking chart. We waited forever for Ethereum to do this. And now that Ethereum's finally doing this and you're seeing Bitcoin dominance drop off, this might be the beginning of alt season. We can't definitively say that until we see this here, which is all of our total market cap side by side by side. Total one market cap is still way out front of everything else. All right. See the red arrow there at the 886 line? 886, 886, right? You can see how much higher the price is on total one. That's because that's mostly Bitcoin. And then total two is mostly Ethereum. And then total three is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? You can see alts have held their own here. Are we going to get that big alt season that we think we're going to get where all the top assets move up here? Well, we're going to find out very soon because of Bitcoin dominance. I saved that one to show you that until now. But Ethereum, solid look. Give me 3,000. No. Yeah, ICP. All right. Cool. So that was Ethereum. Now we'll do ICP. All right. Big failure for ICP over the last several months, but look who's turned the corner. She's over the 50, over the 100, over the 821 very aggressively. You got this 236 fib in the way. Be mindful. It ain't just going to be all candy and nuts here, like I said before. That happens to be right at the weekly 21 moving average. Could ping pong around here a little bit, huh? right? And it wouldn't be unheard of. Up here at the 50-100 weekly, that's 7.8 and 8.3, 7.80 and 8.30. 200 moving average is at 760, so call it somewhere in that range of a target for ICP for me. I'm already in this. I don't want to hear the complaints. There's my chart with my actual buy line on it. Here's the fibs. You're already over 786 and still holding strong. Love to see it. Target box at 236 first, and then here up here at the 720 level is where the 1618 is. I guess that makes sense for this 200 moving average to slowly work its way down and the price to slowly work its way over here and maybe give it a kiss, right? Could we break through that 200? Sure. But all in due time. It doesn't need to happen right now. RSI is getting toward overbought. That's good. We're momentum's up. And MACD, you've got 3 big volume bars come in. Both of your moving averages are over the midline now. ICP with a drastic improvement from what it was last week. You love to see it. Give me a little bit more here. I like to see in a chart that looks good for a change. You know what I'm saying? It's good to... What's up, King of Light? Good to see you, brother. I created Cranksters Coliseum. We're currently in the middle of our 30K to 1 million challenge. Nice, dude. Well, check us out on the Discord, dude. We do live trading every Thursday morning, and I'm going to start doing it more. We do live trade every Thursday morning. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. We just hang out and talk and chart and shoot the bull. I usually just trade Bitcoin futures, but, you know, whatever happens to pop up at the moment. Love to have more traders in there talking. It's not all about me. I say that all the time. It's not, dude. It is a group effort. Always a group effort. All right. So Polkadot, you've worked your way back toward the 8 and 21, 50, 100. Still thinking about it. 200 moving average is up here. Haven't quite gotten through it yet, but it's getting close. If you noticed, hadn't gotten to it yet, but it's getting close. 50 moving average on the weekly and 100. Both up there as well. Both still causing a little bit of a headache. So this is good, not great. You're over some of this, but you're not over enough. So I'm going to give this one the orange treatment. We don't need to look at the oscillators just yet. She hasn't done good enough. Virtuals. All right. Virtuals protocol. I saw this one before the stream. 821, yes. 50, 100, 200. You're over everything. Ichimoku Cloud, 3 out of 4. Only thing you need right here is that baseline to get crossed up by the blue line. You want the blue over the red. And as you see, we ain't got that yet. I'm going to sneeze. Come on, nose. Just go already, dude. Oh, don't you hate when sneeze pinned? Pending. I hate it. Oh, I was trying to make myself sneeze right there. And it immediately went, nope. Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
No sneeze today. So 3 out of 4 for virtuals. This isn't going to take long for this conversion line to work its way back up, though. This is a really good look. She looks got a lot of power. Pivot at 195, and she bounced right off of it. RSI pointing up. That's good. MACD. You haven't quite crawled up yet and crossed green. Close. Working its way there. Much improved. So she's getting green. We're running out of assets. Here we go. Finally. KTA. Kita. Yeah, this one's brand new. Just came out a couple days ago. She's had a hell of a ride up. Look at that. Excellent. You got a little bit of a doji candle right here, but this is a doji at the bottom. And a doji at the bottom typically means reversal or continuation. And here you go. That would be a reversal or continuation back up. It needs to hold on to this, not lose that AEMA in order to maintain that momentum, though. RSI was super overbought. Could we continue to see that hold on? Maybe. MACD, you're no help there. This coin's still too new. Pivot, you got all the way up to R3, R2, R1, all 3 broken, but you're still under R3. So this thing may tail a little bit here. That was a big bearish engulfing candle as well. Be careful here. She may slow down some. Worst case, Ontario, 21 EMA, back at 96, 97 cents. So this one's going to get a maybe because of that. Ori. And that's a lot of assets. Y'all, my voice is starting to crack up a little bit. I can hear it. All right, Ori. I'm in Ori. Or I don't remember if I sold it or I didn't. Doesn't matter, whatever. I thought about, maybe I just thought about it. That's probably what it was. Because I was thinking about it this morning. Yeah, that's today's date. Right, yeah. If I was going to buy it, where would I buy it? Right there. Okay, cool. May buy it after the stream, but I said I would wait until the afternoon to buy anything else. You know what I mean? I'm kind of trying to be careful. A lot of Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin's still ripping. Can't really whine. If it goes to 130, 135, 140, am I really going to complain? It's not the money that I want to make, but I'm not going to be mad about it. 821, yes. Underneath the 50 is the only problem. 200 moving average, a mile up there at 540, right? So that's almost 75%, just like optimism. Yeah, dude, that's a long way up there. Risk reward. You know, how much is it worth to you? She's not quite over the 50 yet, which is kind of my holdup. I'm going to give this the maybe, but it is 821 yes. So I'm going to give it a maybe. And I think it's going to take a couple days to iron its way out. We'll see on Thursday, right? We'll see on Thursday. Oscillators. Yeah, see, this is so close. I got to give it a little bit more time. RSI trending up, right? I just wait a little bit. Let me pull up a DEX screener because we got a couple DEX coins that were requested. Hey. All right. OXO. And I think I've learned that it's this one. Yeah, it's numbers, not letters, OXO. I remember that now. All right. So, working your way up here, hasn't quite gotten through the mud. I don't have any indicators on here, but don't really need any either. I like the fact that it's trying to level out here, but be careful. You still haven't really got enough volume to move, and I don't like the long tail on the top of this. She's trying to form a base. I like that it formed a base on support back here. If you notice the support that it had back here, I like that. I just need to see it make it maybe close above the other highs at 10 cents, and that's a long way up from where we're at, but that's a 4x back up here to the top where it was. So waiting on that little bit's probably a little safer than jumping in now. Like I said, I don't like the long tail on that wick. That's a little spooky, so I'm going to give this one a maybe. XMW. Morphware. We've done this one before. As many assets as we do it, I can remember any of them is insane. All right, so this one's just not good enough yet. This one's got two big highs and then equal lows. I would need to see this thing throw a bullish engulfing right here. And if there was an 8 EMA, it would be challenging it if it did that, but it's not quite there for me. After a bullish engulfing, maybe Thursday, this looks a little better, but right now it's a no. It's still tailing off and slacking a little bit. I would be a little bit more leery of it. So I'm going to give this one a pink for now. And we'll drop that off. Noise. We got any other? Oh, what's up, Matt? Good to see you, brother. That's busted. Armzod, good to see you. Gimme Zell, what's up, brother? Miss Ariana, how are you? Jazz B, good to see you, brother. Can't do Filecoin. We already got too many to look at. SVT Loop. Yeah, nice to see some momentum on Ethereum. I would totally agree. Syrup. We got a couple more. We're powering through. Long ass stream. Sorry. A lot of coins asked, and I told you guys I would look up whatever you guys asked for. Man of my word. All right, so over the daily, 821 EMA, over the 50, over the 100. She's flying high on the wings of love. Tom Jones. Testing a new all-time high here. Closing anywhere up here pretty much locks in a new all-time high. 52, 55, 59. Those are my base model extensions first, and then we'll see after it gets up to those. But I do think it will get up to those in time. Watch out because she's working on overbought. That's why I think it'll get up there and slow down a little bit. Price discovery can be a SOB, but it's also a great thing. Cross up on the MACD coming. Volume bars are falling off. This is a great look. This is a great look for syrup. RSR. Reserve rights. We've tracked this one for years. All right, so over the 8, but under the 21 and 100, so not quite good enough, right? 200 moving average is right in line with the 50 fib. So she's close, yeah? Not quite there, but she's close. 50 moving average kind of floating in the middle, right? If it gets moving here, those are my targets on the way up. You can kind of see that they're sort of in line. Not terrible, but if we ever do get bullish, they're all going to have to cross up here, and those are all going to have retests at a higher price. Nonetheless, it's got the chance to get up there. I like to come off the bottom. A good heavy retrace. Now it's got to work its way back out of this retrace. Closing above the local high that it had right here, the little bitty one. Right there, closing above that would be great. That means it challenges those moving averages. Closing above that means it's going to fade back and hit the ADMA again, and maybe even challenge breaking it. She's tried. She's in the maybe zone for me, so I'm giving her orange. The orange treatment. Orange. AXL. Some of you guys never heard of some of these coins, which is great because now you're seeing them. And holy shit, look at AXL. Remember when I said ICP and the other ones look like they're going to run to the 200? That's exactly what AXL has done here. From the 821 sprinted to the 200 moving average. I want to see them all do this. Note that that's also the weekly 50, which is why I'm bringing them up for you guys so you guys can see it. When this happens and you get, let's measure this, 54% candles, while you may continue to rip like a tater chip, I like to take profits on days like this. When you run into heavy moving averages, I'm not saying sell everything, but what I am saying is what I like to do when this happens is I like to take some profits, right? Lock in a win. And I want to already have something else lined up to buy before I do so, right? I don't want to just buy anything. I want to buy something that I know I'm ready to buy, right? This has a really aggressive look. It doesn't happen very often that they move like this. I'm not telling you to get off of a heater. What I am saying is rule number 4 is take your profits for a reason. All right, let me hit the echo. Take your profits. Because if you don't take your profits, someone else will, folks. And I don't want your profits to get ate up. Right? Hold on to your profits. Other than that, oscillators, MACD says, ha, what are you thinking about? That thing's a waste. RSI overbought. Again, another reason to maybe consider taking some profits. Pivot line, R3 was right there. Yet another reason to maybe consider taking some profits. And you're now 4 out of 4 on the cloud for what it's worth. Right? All at once. But it hasn't closed yet, so it's really going to need a closing for that. But you know it's coming. So this thing gets a green based on the holy shit chart that it's got. Quant. And thank you for whoever brought that one up. We needed to see that because that's a great example of what can happen. Quant continues to chug along here. We can record this one. Well, no, we don't need to record it. It's already kind of maxing its way out here. Over everything, and you got a tits cross, golden cross coming in right there. Very nice. Ichimoku cloud, you're 4 out of 4 on that. Love to see that. Love to see a 4 out of 4 on the cloud. Weekly, she just broke through the Ichimoku cloud. That's awesome. Hell of a bottom formation. You don't see that very often. Pivot at 109 on the weekly, and it's above that. What else can we throw at it? Weekly RSI. Weekly RSI working its way up. Nice. MACD on the weekly working its way up. Nice. RSI on the daily. MACD on the daily. Up and sideways steady. Be careful. And almost overbought for a third time. Be careful. You do got a little bit of bearish divergence here forming. A little bit of a lower high on your RSI, but the price still rising up. It may hit this 50 fib and fade just a little bit, and that wouldn't be the end of the world. That gives it a chance to catch its breath because Quant has had a rip. Look at that thing go. Hell of a move. As far as the 821 goes, back here was your 821 cross. Since the 821 cross, you are 79% in the green. And that's why we use TA, folks. That's why we use TA. Uniswap. Couple more. USD. All right. Hell of a day for Uniswap. We track Uniswap every day. We have a special section just for Uniswap in our Discord. It's underneath top assets. We track everything in the top 25 or close to the top 25 with its own separate section in our Discord, and this happens to be one of them. So we're all over this one. Look at the beautiful, beautiful trend breakout. And look at these moving averages all bunched up together. Look at that thing bounce off the 821 and rip straight toward that 200. That's exactly what AXL did, and that's exactly what I want to see some of the other ones do. You couldn't ask for a better look for Uniswap, and it did exactly what you wanted it to do. She's already almost overbought. And your MACD, big, huge volume candle. You're getting a bit of divergence upward now on your MACD lines. That's good. It may need to sort itself out in time, but I'll almost bet that thing gets up there at 200 at 928 to 940. Right there, roughly where that 50 fib is. You got confluence right there of that area. Hell of a move for Uniswap. She's getting the green bar for that one. TIA. Couple more and we're done. TIA's still not there, unfortunately. She's over the 8, but under the 21, 50, 100 trend. This one's getting a red until I see more improvement. Womp, womp, womp. I got that one. Blur. All right, Coinbase. So you're over the 8, but you're still under the 21. 5100 bearing down here. 821 EMA still bearing down on the weekly, and the 50 bearing down on the weekly. She's close, but she's not good enough. This thing's got a lot of fight to come back from, so it's going to be a for me for now. Aerodrome. Now this one's a little better. All right, she's over the 50. I'm sorry, she's over the 100 and the 821, but it's under the 50. It's bounced clean off of that. You guys can see that right there. All right, want to see it close above that, and that'd be a 3 out of 3 for the Reaper Strat. 200 moving average is up here near the 50 fib. I just took it off for a second, but there you go. You kind of see it. That's an 81-cent level cap, roughly between R2 and R3. How are your oscillators? Improving. Look at that MACD. She just crossed up. You got one green volume bar in there. That's good. It's a change. RSI seems to have broken its bearishness. That's good. Trending upward. Ichimoku Cloud. Well, you're still 4 out of 4 on that. But improving. By Thursday, we'll know a little bit more here. If it gets up over that 50, she's good to go. So I'm going to give this a maybe for the time being. Last one. Deep. This is a long stream. All right. It's hectic. Bounced off the 100 and 200. Beautiful. Love to see that. Over the 821. Beautiful. Love to see that. Underneath the 50. You need to get over that 50 to really prove it to me. But it's a hell of a move. It's a double top maybe. Potentially. I like that it's bouncing off the weekly 821 though. So not a bad spot. It's a lot like some others though, right? Where it's kind of tween, maybe, maybe not. Thinking about it, not quite there. We'll see if it turns the corner. I think it's pretty darn close though. Oscillators. You got one green bar. Yeah. And your RSI is trending up. Can't deny that. Good move. Good move. A little better than some of the others. Not quite as good as some of the others. Things have improved a lot, haven't they, folks? Yes, they have. What a stream. That's a solid-ass hour of request charts. I wrote them all down. I got them right here. Let me highlight this last one. Whoop. There you go. All of them except FTM. I do this on every stream. Why don't you do it? Right? Follow along on the next stream. Get you out a piece of notebook paper and a couple highlighters. You can use an ink pen if you want, and a pencil. I don't really care. You want to draw stars and triangles? I don't mind. Whatever you want. But come on, join on the stream. Do this for yourself and see what you think, right? It's not made up. It's all data-based analytics. It's nothing I think or want. It's 100% all about the charts. It's the way we'll always keep it. It's always the way that only matters, keeps your emotions out of it, all right? Thank you all for watching. I appreciate every single one of you being here. We had about 300 people on today. It's pretty awesome for a 4:30 in the afternoon show for the European guys. You could have been anywhere else in the world. Remember, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I'll never forget that, and I appreciate that. All right? Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. And as the late, great, notorious B.I.G. would say, sky's the limit, folks. And let's not forget, nobody else told you today. Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Y'all be good, man. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all keep it real. Thursday, 11 p.m., Crypto After Dark. Zoom afterwards for all the subs. Y'all be good. I'm out. Peace.